Okay, folks, this is going to be one of those videos. Today we're going to talk about canaries and coal mines, and it is time for us to take some action to move a little bit to a more conservative position given market dynamics. And you've heard me talk repeatedly about canaries and coal mines. We watched them really closely in the first, second, and third quarters of last year as we were going through COVID, because it has to do, canaries and coal mines has to do with the bond market, market dynamics, things that happen before market sell-offs. And so we think we are on the cusp of a broader market sell-off. This is not Chicken Little, this is not run for the hills, but this is a time to be wary about canaries and coal mines. Specifically, I'm going to talk about a few issues. Evergrande in China. Evergrande is an organization, a huge construction company. It looks like they're going to default on something close to $300 billion in debt. And that debt and the fact that the market will have to digest that bad debt, the banks will have to digest that bad debt, that debt is when it gets magnified through the banking system, impacts $15 to $20 of other transactions for every dollar of bad debt that is actually being defaulted on. That means if Evergrande, or when Evergrande defaults on $300 billion in debt, there's going to be somewhere between $4 and $6 trillion of other transactions that are negatively impacted. That means the deals either don't get funded at all, they get delayed, or the terms get changed. In any of those circumstances, $6 trillion worth of transactions globally is too much for the system to swallow at one time. That's going to cause some disruption. We also have things going on in the US that we think are going to create additional headwinds for the market in the near term. Things like federal debt ceilings. There's going to be a fight in Congress about raising the federal debt ceiling again. No, they haven't fixed this fight. No, they haven't fixed the problem of constantly having to raise and increase how much we're borrowing. So we're leaving it to politicians who are effectively children to make these kinds of decisions. It's very frustrating, but we have a debt ceiling fight coming once again this fall, right before this election season. Awesome. Anyway, so we have that fight going on. We also have confidence in the Federal Reserve that is really being challenged right now. It's come out in the last week or two that Fed governors across the country were actually buying and selling individual stocks in their own accounts at the same time that they were voting on the Federal Reserve to buy stocks for the Federal Reserve's own balance sheet. Conflict of interest, anyone? Illegal, immoral, unethical, take them out and flog them, tar and feather them. I mean, use your euphemism, fill in the blank here, right? But that confidence, or that trip in confidence for the Federal Reserve, and whether that they're acting in an above board fashion, is going to cause some ripples throughout the economy. And then the last thing is going to be some of the ending of some of the stimulus. So for instance, we've got the ending of the moratorium on evictions that's happening at the federal level. We have it being continued at some of the state levels, but at the federal level, it's going away. We also have the ending of the unemployment insurance stimulus from the federal government that's ended here at the beginning of September. So we think all of these things kind of come together, not to create a crash, but we certainly think there's more than what we've seen so far, which is about a 3 or 4% pullback off the market. We think there's probably a broader pullback. So what do? So here at Visionary, what we're doing is we are proactively shifting a portion of your assets to the sideline in your TD Ameritrade accounts. If you have a TD Ameritrade account, you're probably going to see some trades this week. That those trades are intended to raise a little bit of cash. Again, this is not Chicken Little. We're not selling everything in the account. What you will probably see is somewhere between a 10 and a 20% shift to cash, depending on the risk tolerance of the account and how much actual equity exposure you have in the portfolio. We're taking these moves preemptively against a potential broader market decline, and we think it's in your best interest that we do this at this time in response to these canaries in the coal mines. If you have questions on this or any other matter, As always, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here with perspective for the decisions ahead, and you are never an inconvenience to our day. You are the reason we get up and get to go to work in the morning. I hope you're having a great day. Give me a call anytime. Not all the time, but anytime. Have a great day.